Good evening. Welcome to the Trey Olds Radio Show. This is Trey Olds. Today, my special guest is actress and singer Miss Jody Jaress. Join us in a minute.
Okay, now you got my nighttime voice.
My first question to you is, how did you get started being an actress? How did you get started in the entertainment business?
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we'd have to go back from what I'm told, and from memorabilia that I've seen. I probably was about 5 years old. and the story goes that we used to get the Sunday paper, and in the Sunday paper it had a magazine section. And in that magazine section, they always had local things going on and stuff. And there were always photos of these children that were in costumes, and they were doing this, and they were dancing, and they were singing, and they were, doing plays and stuff. And supposedly, I said, I want to do that. I want to do that. And my parents were gracious enough then to give me a go at it. And this was back in Michigan. And of course, you have to take lessons, dear.
Yeah.
And okay, so my mother, for the most part, would be the one that would drive me through some big park, kind of like Griffith Park, only it had more, and this is in Michigan, and between Ferndale and Detroit, where the, what was the name of the school? Oh dear. Now you're making me go back way too far. I forgot the name of the, oh my gosh, and I usually can remember that really easily, but I'm not comfortable with interviews, so I'm a little stressed. But anyway, so she would put me in the car, and we would venture through the shortcut to get to the school.
Okay.
Art school, with the singing and the dancing and the acting and all. And, I'm little, but she would always get lost in the park. So by the time we got there, most weeks, I'd be in tears and she'd be angry. So that was my journey in the beginning, to my artistic endeavors in classes. And I did. I've got a picture, a recital of me at 5 with these older kids, and so I guess it started there, which is fine with me. So I guess the story's true, because there are some newsprints and stuff that can back up that theory that I've always been told about.
Yeah. And after that, after you were 5, did you did you get started in theater? Did you start theater? Yes,
theater would have been primary back in Michigan. Like in I guess then I think I jumped to, that I remember, age 12, 13, something like that. And would go to Willoway Apprentice Theater, and I loved that place. This was in also in Michigan, and I was there for several years throughout my high school days, and just loved it there. If for no other reason, then a lot of our classes, acting classes and theater classes, before we actually got to perform, was in what we would call the pig pen.
Mm-hmm.
because it was on, it was a big former farm, I guess, property. So they converted the barns and the stalls and stuff into, these classrooms or these theatrical areas. And so that was very, very exciting to me because I also in high school I had a couple of horses and would show horses in different fairs and festivals and stuff. So and sing, so I was doing the singing and the acting throughout high school. But my high school teachers, the music department said I couldn't sing. Didn't know how to sing. I don't sing properly. It's not good. You're never going to be a singer. And the drama coach there, which was one of the English teachers, she didn't like my acting. So I did get to direct in high school, but she didn't particularly care for my acting, or so she said. So it's it was a little strange. I thought, well, that's not very nice. I love directing, but still, that wasn't very nice. And so but I couldn't sing. Oh, okay, you can go back here and sing in the alto section or something, but you can't, whatever. And so I twirled the baton instead. Yeah, but so that's kind of, the youthful part of wanting to always be an actor. My mother would have preferred me to be a singer. And at the time, I enjoyed singing. I mean, I did. My mom and dad would drive me to, the Elks Club and do their events and sing and, here and there. Mm-hmm. But my desire was to be the actor. So, of course, now, and unfortunately, both of my parents are gone, but now I'm also doing the singing, and I'm just delighted that I'm doing it. I feel, it feels really good. So I'm doing both, and thanks to them, they supported me and my dreams and desires and whims and such, although it wasn't always easy because, they would argue and fight and stuff, and I'd always think it was about me.
Oh,
and,
no.
It's because I want this, and they're trying so hard, and, but then I found out that's not really the way it was, but, as kids, that's what you figure. If your parents are upset, it's got to be because you've done something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but it's usually not the case. But we don't realize that until much, 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 much later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the most difficult or challenging part being an actress and a singer?
Oh, the most challenging or difficult. See, anything that's a challenge, I'm up for.
Me too.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you. And I notice you've got some cool things going for yourself that you've created. Do you have some recent thing that you wrote, this series about a research scientist turned detective or something? I just glanced at something that I thought I saw. And
yeah, I have quite a few projects like that, and they're fun to do. They're very fun to do.
You are amazing. That is so cool. That is just great. You got to keep that up because as young as you are and all, you're just diving right into it. And this radio show, I understand is what? You've had it for 5, 6 years.
6 years, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you barely could talk and walk. Oh dear. Well, the most challenging is to get out of my own way, is to believe in myself more, I think. I think that's always been the most difficult. It's like, well, oh, this is terrible. You're going to get my deep, dark secrets here. Am I worthy enough to really do what I want to do without it seeming selfish and self-centered and narcissistic? And it was difficult because I pretty much took care of my family and made most of the decisions. Somehow I ended up being the running things. Even at a young age, I had my sister's like 10 years younger than me, and still back in Michigan, here I'm 10, 12 years old, and I'm taking her at 1 or 2 years old for walks downtown to the local, at that time, drug and pop store, where you had the soda fountain and all, and people thought she was mine. And so I just, cherished that. I thought, oh, wow, woohoo, look at me. But I did. I looked older for my age at the time. In fact, I'd even have to bring a note to go to every week I got to go to the matinees at the movie theater. Mm-hmm. But I'd have to bring a note to say that I was under a certain age, or they would charge me for the older tickets. So I had to prove that I was not the older person, the older age, whatever age that cutoff was, I don't know. But I was very fortunate that I did get to expose myself to, no, not that way. get exposed to films and classes and stuff like that, because my parents didn't have any of that. They weren't inclined in that direction at all, and so it was really, I was really quite blessed, I guess you might say, mm-hmm. to get to do that. And when I graduated high school, I had done beauty pageants and won this and won that one, and runner-up at Miss Michigan and stuff like that, which takes you to another venue of modeling, and so the singing and the modeling and the acting. Mm-hmm. We got 3 things. And so I got to through the modeling John Robert Powers, I got to go to New York on a scholarship to become an instructor at the John Robert Powers Modeling School, which eventually, years and years later, I became one of their. I ran one of their schools, but so much. I haven't thought about this stuff, and I don't know when. Your bringing is like, oh, wow. It's opening up this Pandora's box. But modeling isn't the thing. But I did get to go to New York, and while I was in New York, of course, I started making the rounds, as we called it back then. Mm-hmm. And you take I had photos done in New York, and you take your, photos and stuff, and you go from one agent